Hello, this is another go-kart video. I'd like to update you all on the progress, and before we kind of get into that, I'm making sure the garage here is nice and warm. It's January 3rd. Hope everybody had a good new year. I know here in the Midwest it's pretty cold this time of year, and actually got hit with a pretty good snowstorm the other day, so get this heater going real good and kind of get on with the video here. Gotta love these little fire boxes. My dad built this one, and it's really awesome. I love it. I just put a little fan back in there, and it blows that hot air through these little heat transfer tubes that he welded up in there. Sure works good. The garage isn't very big, 24 by 24. I got it insulated up pretty good, so it holds the heat quite well. But anyway, back to the kart. I had a couple days over the New Year's weekend, and I spent some time on it. Wanted to share the progress. As you can tell, I did weld some overhead structure to the kart. Just getting on with the roll cage, and it's coming along okay. Kind of makes it look short and stubby, but it is what it is. It had to be a certain height here, so you know, as I ride it, I'm not going to be smacking my head on that overhead area. So I took some measurements. I needed, from the bottom of the seat, I needed like 38 inches. So that's about exactly what it is. It ends up being from the bottom of the wheel here. You know, if this thing was sitting on the ground from its stance on the ground up to the top of the bar, it's like 52 inches. So that kind of give all of you an idea of the perspective. I know sometimes it's hard to make sense of the size of some of these things in video, but that's what it is, about 52 inches from the ground. 3/4 by 1.5 inch rectangle I used for some of this main framework. All this is 1/8 inch thick. 3/4 square for some of the X, and I think I used some of that. This stuff was 3/4 by this might have been 3/16. This stuff was a little heavier, but so I thought, well, I got a little bit of this heavy stuff. I'll use it on the vertical, and then when I go and build my structure over the engine, right? Because that's coming. It's not done. Still a work in progress here. I'm gonna come in with some structure over the motor, and that's gonna serve a couple purposes here. See, it's gonna end up probably supporting my gas tank, but it's also gonna be that overhead structure that's gonna accommodate my shocks when I get to that point. So I might not do that immediately, you know, as far as suspension, but I want to think ahead and be efficient with my build, so when I do add suspension, I don't have to get into a whole ton of fabrication. But I would need that platform back here for a gas tank, I guess, if I'm going to mount one up here, and that is my plan at this point in time. These are the seats. They're just setting in place. They're not bolted up. I mentioned in a prior video that I got them from an individual that was parting out a John Deere Gator. Really nice seat. Maybe got the the John Deere emblem there. These seats are awesome. They're lightweight. They're super comfortable, and you know, I'm not sure if that's real leather, but there's going to be a level of weather resistance there. I think I don't plan on leaving this thing outside, but you know, I like the thought of the seats not getting waterlogged if they get wet. So there's the seats. What else? Some other structure that I have planned up here is like a leg. I'm going to call it like a leg bar that will probably go, you know, maybe something like that, in case this thing gets to rolling. You know, that'll kind of keep your legs in the vehicle. So I have that yet to do. So, you know, I got the kind of the basic structure kind of figured here, and I got to add some more over the motor. I got to add this leg bar. There is another thing I did. The last video I took, I may have noted the position of this clutch plate in several prior videos. I don't know if y'all can remember, it was mounted horizontally, straight across like this. I was having clearance issues with the seats, the back of the seats and the driven here, and also some of this framework that I put in. So I needed to clock this whole system in order to clear that stuff. And I ran into a little bit of problem where I had to re-drill some holes in the plate to do that. But all is well. I got those holes drilled, worked really great. Relieved a little bit of this metal framework here. That way it allows plenty of clearance for the driven pulley, plus it allows me to be able to change my belt when I need to kind of fish it out. It just fishes out this little void right here. So good to go there. I mentioned last time around, I do need some more locking collars to get this rear axle set up. So that's in the makings. Here's one other thing. I ended up finding a oil filter, or rather, I'm sorry, not an oil filter. It's got an oil filter. But I found this remote oil cooler for this little motor. It'd be pretty sweet on there. So the whole reason I bought this, though, was because originally I thought that I was gonna, when I mounted the clutch, I thought I was gonna have the driven pulley back here, right? So this whole thing would be rotated back. But this oil filter adapter is right smack dab in the way, as well as this exhaust. Now I could kind of modify up this exhaust easy enough, and I'll probably maybe think about looking at that in the future. But I thought, well, if I can move this oil filter adapter, and then if I needed to clock this clutch system to where the driven is back here, then this kind of kills two birds with one stone. See there? It ends up being like tucked in right here. And the exhaust would have to be moved here again, but I would be able to relocate my oil filter, and I would get an engine oil cooler out of the deal. So I got hooked up on this part here. Found it on eBay, pretty cheap. So I thought that was pretty awesome. What else do we got going on here? So we talked about some of our cage work that we did. We have a lot of work yet to do. Got to have a structure here. I need to figure out a gas tank. I want something, I want kind of like a barrel shaped gas tank, maybe anywhere from 3 to 5 gallons. I think that'd be sufficient. Like a brushed aluminum one would be pretty cool. Probably mount it back in here. That's kind of the thought anyway. So the other major thing that would need done, as I mentioned this in the prior video, I'm going to have to get rid of these current spindles, wheels, and tires, because they're from a riding lawnmower, and it's all real low speed stuff. I know that sounds growly right there. It's just the wheel rubbing up against this sawhorse. But yeah, you got a riding lawnmower, and just a greased spindle is sufficient for something going 4 or 5 miles an hour. But for go-karts, that wouldn't be good. So I've got a plan to get all this chopped off here, this whole frontal member, which really, the way this is set up, it includes the whole steering crossover bar, everything. So that's going to require a little bit more of an extensive work once I get into that. But the fact of the matter is, it'll ride the way it is. I might just keep on pushing along and kind of get to this stuff at a later time. This is something that could probably stay the way it is for now. I could get some riding time in on it. And the back suspension thing, that's another thing. It doesn't have to be installed right now. I could take it out and ride the thing the way it is. I might just keep on pushing forward and get this thing going. I think it's going to be really fun once I can finally jump on it and ride it. But lots of little stuff left. Gas and brake pedal, cable gas cable, brake linkage that goes back, picks up the caliper, you know, all that stuff. So just wanted to show what has happened since the last video, and it's coming along. I'm pretty happy with the progress, and I can just tinker with it as time allows. So here again, I'll keep everyone posted as I move forward, and thanks for watching. Have a great day.